Get ready for chills and thrills at Hometown Haunts and Hops Horror Convention here in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Join us for a spine-tingling day of horror-filled fun on October 28th at the Mayflower Brewing Company. Meet horror actor Matthew G. Taylor from Resident Evil and dive into a macabre world of cinema and literature. Sip on chilling brews, indulge in ghastly treats, and immerse yourself in a haunted atmosphere. Whether you're a horror buff or just seeking an unforgettable experience, Hometown Haunts and Hops has it all. Don't miss out on the eerie excitement. Secure your tickets now by heading on over to Inebri-art.com. Go to our events calendar, and in October you will find the link for Hometown Haunts and Hops, which is sponsored by HalloweenNewEngland.com. HalloweenNewEngland.com is the website for the truly Halloween obsessed, with the most extensive guides to New England haunted houses, ghost tours, classic horror film screenings, jack-o'-lantern festivals, haunted hayrides, and more. They've got all the thrills covered throughout September and October, with over 2,500 Halloween events on their events calendar and hundreds of local Halloween attractions. It's the only place you'll find everything from haunted history tours and costume contests to which haunts are open on Thursday nights. HalloweenNewEngland.com has your Halloween covered and is sponsoring Hometown Haunts and Hops this year.
Across the line, the Gulf Stream, I've been in Tampa Bay, around the horn, and home again, 'cause that is the sailor's way.
Welcome back to the Old Colony Cast, a podcast about all things Plymouth and surrounding areas. I am your host, or one of your co-hosts. I'm still a little rusty.
That's okay.
All right. I didn't
You
mean
are
I
a host.
I am a host, yeah. But the way I said it, I felt like I implied you weren't.
Yeah.
I felt bad.
I see how it is. Well,
I am here with my co-host Hanna.
Hello.
And our ill-prepared producer Fish. We don't have any recaps or anything, right?
No.
We're just gonna jump right in.
King Richard's Fair is going on.
King Richard's Fair is going. It's got to be close to being over, right?
The end of October, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We're mid-fair season. Or a little more past mid.
Man, I feel like there was something I wanted to cover.
Was it fair related?
No.
Was it unfair?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm unprepared. I don't have the good jokes.
Yeah, I just had a flash of ooh, there was a follow-up to something, but now I can't think of what it was. No.
Okay.
All lies. All lies.
All lies.
Didn't happen.
Okay.
But what are we going to talk about today, Hannah?
Well, it's spooky-ish season.
It is spooky season.
So I thought we'd talk about something spooky-ish.
Okay.
Kind of.
Spooky-ish, kind of. I feel like you're really sliding into the not spooky.
Like, this is what hedging bets sounds like.
Yeah.
So we wanted to talk about the Salem Witch Trials.
Okay.
Well, that was a suggestion.
Yeah, you just threw it out there.
It's on the list.
It's
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the list.
I just feel like at some point we have to do it.
We do.
Yeah.
But I need, there's a couple things that I want to do, but I need, a decent amount of preparation. And Walter doesn't sleep that well at night yet. So.
Okay.
And I'm back to work. So it just adds kind of to my scheduling conflicts.
Oh, I have an infant and a full-time job.
So the Salem Witch Trials is one of those. I'm like, no, I need to immerse myself in it to feel like I could do a good job at it.
I also see it being kind of one of those we do a broad brush at some point.
We could,
and then kind of deep dive
even
into
the broad brush. Though it's I just
Oh yeah. I'm not
give it the time, King Philip's War. I wouldn't want to do without
Is that spooky?
being full. No, these are just the topics that
you want more. Okay.
We have, and I needed to
Sink your teeth in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Multiple episodes.
Kind of. Yeah.
String boards connecting things. A
could
dry
look at
erase
that.
board.
Yeah.
Visual aids for me and Andy.
Yeah.
Ooh, puppet shows.
Yeah.
Okay, if we do a puppet show, it's going on the YouTube channel.
I feel like there was another thing on our list. I'm like, oh, if we do that, it will have to be a multiple episode. But those two things for sure, are on my list of I I need a bit of time to do it, to feel like I could do it justice. So I took the easy way out with the Witch Trials and decided to talk about the Crucible.
The movie?
Or the book.
Okay.
Or the play.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could say, yeah.
All right.
That's what we're
spooky.
talking about. Yeah, it's spooky.
Okay. All right.
Well, but when you watch it,
I've never seen it, read it, or watched it. Watched. Well, you already said watched, so I felt like I needed another word.
Watched it a different
and
way.
watched it with a bunch of other people.
Have you seen it?
No, it's Arthur Miller, right?
Yes.
Well, the only Arthur Miller I've ever read is Death of a Salesman.
Ugh.
I wasn't even aware that was written by the same person.
Yeah, he did a few.
I know nothing about
He's done...
Like, I more or less know what the play is. I'm not even going to say about around, like, based on.
I'm assuming it's based on the Salem Witch Trials, because that's what Brett...
Yeah. So it was written by Arthur Miller, published in 1953. It's, like many plays and things out there, an allegory for... Do you guys know why he wrote it? Not that many plays are an allegory for the same
money?
thing. No.
It's an allegory for... No, I got nothing. World War One.
Kind of.
I feel like all the allegory things I always hear about are like war.
Yeah, it's for McCarthy, like the second Red Scare.
Okay, that makes sense now. Yeah. Okay.
So the fear of communism in the U.S. Miller himself was actually questioned by the House of Representatives, like a committee of un-American activities.
Yeah.
That they had put together in 1956. And he was convicted of contempt of court for refusing to share the names of people he attended some meetings
with. Yeah. That was the thing to do then.
Meet with people?
Or for them
Get
to...
questioned by Congress about...
Yes.
Yeah.
So, pretty, like, close to home for him.
Yeah.
It premiered on Broadway in 1953 and won a Tony Award for Best Play.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is pretty cool, I'd say. And Arthur Miller he's got like several plays. Death of a Salesman's one of them, and there was like three others that I read and I was like, oh yeah, these are all him. Like, every play that you read in
school,
sophomore year English class.
Yeah, basically, if it's American playwright, it's Arthur Miller. If it's not, it's probably Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So, Biloxi Blues?
What is that a play?
It's a play.
You know what? I'm just gonna say Arthur Miller.
Sure.
Why
not?
Care. Don't fact check me.
Yeah.
He did. The characters are based off of those who had part in the actual Salem Witch Trials. Okay. So it's loosely based on the records of that, and names are directly taken.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So the movie came out in 1996.
Wow. Okay.
It was directed by Nicholas Hittner. Heitner?
I think it's Hittner.
Thank you.
That does sound familiar.
Okay. And it's starring... I was going to do like a drum roll, but you really don't.
Fish insert a drum roll.
No. It's not that important.
Nicolas Cage. No. Lou Diamond Phillips.
No.
Wait, when did it come out? 96? Came out in 96?
Yeah. No, but like honestly, I could kind of see him in that. I had to know. I'm like, maybe he is in it.
I don't even know what kind of like what age group we're looking for. Jack Nicholson.
No. Just keep this up. Keep guessing.
Okay. Seinfeld.
Oh my god.
What's with these witches?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, okay. He's really good.
He plays John Proctor. We have Winona Ryder. She plays Abigail Williams.
That sounds familiar now. Now I think this is ringing a bell.
The Crucible.
Yeah. That she was in it.
Joan Allen. You guys know who she is? She plays Elizabeth Proctor.
No.
She's been in a lot. She's been in some of the Bourne movies. She was in that movie.
She's one of those you've almost definitely seen.
Oh
her
yeah,
in
I've probably seen her in something,
With
but
that
the name
mo-
doesn't ring a bell.
The one where Tobey Maguire and Reese Witherspoon go into a TV show.
Oh, Pleasantville.
Yeah, she's
I
the mom in
Oh,
Pleasantville.
okay, yeah. She's great. I love that movie.
She's like that guy, but a lady.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's one of my favorite movies.
I know, it's so cool. Paul Schofield.
I have an interesting Pleasantville story to tell you.
Okay.
Our listeners can go check out the Inebri-art podcast, episode 3.
Well, yeah. What's the story?
The one with you just want me to just
Yeah.
So I interviewed Michael Corey. He's got a Instagram, TikTok called Props to History, and he is doing inventory more or less at this company called. Oh man, I'm blanking on the company. But it's a print company that has been in business for 107 years, and they print everything for movies. And we started talking about Pleasantville, and I'm like, oh, I love that movie, and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, ooh, and he like reaches beyond his computer and takes like a frame thing off the wall and turns it around, and it was the Pleasantville Fire Department logo
Yeah.
that was on the side of the, he's like, oh, the Earl Hayes Press.
Oh,
He's like,
okay.
Earl Hayes printed that up. So
Cool.
it was just weird that like I like that movie so much. He's like, oh, look what's on my wall within arm's reach.
That's
Yes.
fun.
So, Inebri-art podcast, episode 359.
359. Thank you.
No problem. It's not like they're all sitting on my laptop right now. Look up. It
I love that.
And he's great, great dude. Good combo. Go check it out.
was a good interview.
Yeah. So anyways, Pleasantville. Mom. Go.
Paul Schofield, he played Judge Thomas Danforth. As well as like a few other people that
He played a few other people, or there are other people
there
in
are
it?
other people in it, but like none of them, they're all in it. No. I didn't. The guy who played Giles Corey, he's pretty up there. He's the guy from, he was the Targaryen that was hiding on the wall. He was blind. He's an old guy.
Good
Oh.
for Peter Vaughn.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Peter Vaughn. Yeah, I
Okay.
like that. Just start doing what is it, Game of Thrones? Yeah, he was in it. I'm trying to think if there was anyone else that like sticks out as. I don't want to say memorable because it's rude to the other people who were in it, but like just
Recognizable actors.
recognizable, yeah. And that
Nicolas Cage was in it.
he could have been honestly.
In a small,
Yeah.
He played chair number 7 in that one scene.
Yeah. It's funny because sometimes big actors like do take.
Oh yeah.
Like I think Glenn Close plays a random pirate in Hook.
Oh, I
5
think I knew
minutes.
that. Yeah.
You just show up and do like random bits because you're a
Yeah.
friend of the like the director,
Right.
Yeah.
or you're in the next stage anyway. So
Right.
And George Clooney did the bark of the dog on South Park.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
just cause.
just cause. So
because he wanted to be on, and since it's the two of them, they said, "Well, you can be the dog," and then he said yes.
yeah, we love that. So do you guys no recollection of the story whatsoever?
I've never
I've
seen it.
never
I
s-
don't.
Like
is
I
crazy.
know the
Yeah.
Salem Witch Trials in broad strokes,
Yeah.
but like the play itself, I'm not familiar with at all.
Well, this will be a broad stroke of it because it's not like I don't know event per event of what happened to
Yeah,
or during that time at all. But it is going to be like my.
I knew of the
usual-
movie. I don't even know if I knew the movie was about the witch trials.
That is so funny.
Was it filmed in Salem?
It was actually filmed. They did some of it in the plantation, and then most of it, I think, it was in Nova Scotia.
Plymouth Plantation?
Yeah, or sorry, Plymouth Patuxent. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Formerly the plantation. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Or it says, yeah, I think it had the Plymouth Patuxent's address, like it's whatever Warren Ave, Plymouth, Mass.
No kidding.
Yeah. I don't think it was for the whole thing
Okay.
because it didn't look like it was.
Yeah.
But definitely some of the scenes could have been from the view of the, like some of the village area and stuff like that. But no, I think it was mostly like more north from here.
Yeah.
Starts off with a group of girls in the woods with Tituba, who's one of the enslaved people there, casting spells and dancing around a fire, and they've collected things to throw in the fire. It's like love spells and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And then, really out of nowhere, Abigail kills a chicken.
Okay.
Drinks its blood, and then it got really weird.
So it's a comedy. Because clearly...
No.
On your head up in the killed the chicken, drank its blood, and then things got really weird. Your entirely normal chicken blood drinking, and then things went off the rails.
Yeah, so Abigail's backstory is she used to be like the live-in servant of the Proctors, but she had been like kicked out of the house and was living with her uncle, I believe. And so she had like a lustful yearning for Mr. Proctor. She really wanted the spell to work.
She was making a love spell
Yeah.
for Mr. Proctor.
Yeah, or something. There was some intention behind what she was wishing on.
Okay.
And whether it was to, like, become part of Mr. Proctor, John Proctor's life, have his wife removed from the scenario, just, like, all of the above.
Okay.
And, yeah, so she got a little wild and drank some blood. She was there with her cousin, too, who she was living with. She was a little bit younger. And then a couple other girls, like, just, like, I don't know. It was, you know, when there's a group psychosis happening?
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened. Like,
Yeah.
and Winona Ryder's move, or her character's move, just kind of set it off, and like, people started stripping off clothes. Chichibo was like, yes!
This is what it's about.
Do this!
It's that kind of party.
Yeah.
And then Abigail's uncle is kind of, I don't know, he's like looking for them, so he's going through the woods and he sees them and shouts for him, but all the other girls run off, and it's just her and Abigail and her cousin. This would be her cousin's dad, but like suddenly her cousin is like comatose and like won't do anything. So Betty's her cousin's name. And she is just, from that moment on, is bedbound
Okay.
and, like, comatose-ish. There's another young girl, Ruth Putnam, and she has the same symptoms. So, like, from that event, 2 girls leave the woods. There's suspiciousness about why all these girls are leaving the woods.
Yeah.
What happened. And then 2 of them have the same, like, affliction, you could say.
Okay.
There's no apparent reason for it, but somewhere, someone down the line believes that they're under demonic control. Like, just that gets the suggestion.
It was the time, you
Yeah.
know?
So there's a Reverend John Hale, and he's called in because they want someone else to come in and say, like, yes or no.
Yep, demons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Abigail, because there's so much heat on her, because she was one of the people in the woods with her little cousin, their friends, whatever.
Drinking chicken blood.
Yeah. She was by far from...
Why is everyone blaming me? You're the one covered in blood.
It's not mine. It's okay. Just this chicken I was drinking.
She's trying to convince her uncle, like, it was just, like, little stupid love spells. They didn't mean anything. Again, yeah, she's got blood all over her.
It was just a bit of casual witchcraft.
Yeah, and so she finally just breaks and says that it was Tituba who got them to go into the woods and dance, and Tituba was talking to the devil. She saw Tituba talking to the devil. And so from there, they believe that the 2 girls are being bewitched, and Tituba has something to do with it. And like, news is traveling quick. The whole town is like about this at this point, because 2 girls are sick.
Because they really have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
They don't have TikTok.
Yeah, it's so true.
They don't have Sudoku.
This is what happens back in the day, where, you know, everyone's got an attention span, and everyone can focus on things for way too long.
Yeah.
And now you can go and you can spend days traveling from town to town telling everyone are witches.
Yeah.
Because you can hold a thought in your head for more than 13 seconds, and you know what? Maybe it's not a great thing all the time.
Yeah, it's not even town to town. They're like house to house. They're lighting that place up with the rumors. So Abigail points the finger at Tituba. This is like the precipice of the whole
A
thing.
bloody chicken bloody
Yeah.
finger.
It's-
Not my fault.
I would
So
like to think at some point she bathes.
Tituba is like dragged out of her quarters from her whatever house she is being kept in, and she is beaten.
Was she a servant or a slave?
She's a slave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And she was beaten and like to a point where they're like, admit that you like were with the devil. So she does,
Well, yeah.
because she just wants it
Weird.
to stop.
When you torture people, they say anything to make it stop.
And-
Weird.
She admits to it, and she is saved because of that. And so Abigail sees this and is like, hold up. I can use this. I can work with this.
Okay.
And this is where the pointing the finger and calling everyone a witch starts, because it's with this group of girls they realize how much power they have.
Oh, just by saying, oh, look what we got done when we called that person a witch.
Yeah. And so
I also don't like Sarah.
yeah. And then it calls into question one of the girls, I forget which character it is or which person it's based off of, but they are pointing the finger at their neighbor. I think it's Rebecca Nurse, or the nurse is someone from that household, and they are like pointing the finger at them because they're in a land dispute.
Oh, okay.
Like
sure.
her father is in a land
Yeah.
dispute with her other neighbor, and so like
I don't like their
suddenly-
guard gnomes. Also, witch.
Yeah. And finally, a few other people visit these girls to get them to try and wake up and see what's wrong. Because there's after people start being called witches, like nothing's happening with them. One of the older women, which I believe is Rebecca Nurse, visits one of them, but after her visit, and she says that she's just like pretending. I've seen this, like she raised like 14 babies, had 14 kids, and
I know what teenage girls are like.
yes.
They're just being
Yeah.
catty.
Yeah, like that's pretty much what she says.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with her. The devil's not at play. She's just
Nothing wrong with a good
being.
You mean she was a realist?
Yeah. And I think from there, like, there's a sense that like she could disturb the whole thing, and she's pointed out
Yeah.
as a witch. Bunch of people are though, like everyone. Also, I read this play when I was in a sophomore in high school, I believe.
hmm
And so this is of the time, but obviously in the play they use it that way too. Goody is like Mrs. So there's Goody Nurse, Goody Proctor.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
For Good Wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
There's also someone with the last name Good.
So it's goody good?
Yes. like that. But like we're reading the play out loud, and no one's addressing this Goody situation. I'd never heard it before.
Yeah.
And I had to like raise my hand and be like, what is Goody? Like, what the hell?
Is there someone on the story named Two Shoes?
No,
Yeah.
that would be
I'm
fun.
glad we're not the other.
Right, is that where?
I was desperately trying not to
I'm like,
go
is
there.
that where that came from?
Yeah, it might be.
It's got to be.
That's a good thing. to
Goody
look
Two
into.
Shoes.
Yeah.
Dang you both.
Yeah, you go ahead. We'll give you some.
Oh, that's when your wife has her shoes on.
Yeah. Two shoes. at
Ah,
once.
you goody two shoes.
So yeah, they start pointing everyone out, and that Reverend is already there to like second any decisions or if people are actually like dealing with the devil and things like that. But we have an answer.
That was fast.
Yeah. So first of all, yes.
Yeah, it's from
The
that.
Goody in Goody Two Shoes
Is Miss or Mrs. or
Mrs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Goody Two Shoes is a variation of the Cinderella story originally published in 1765.
Wow.
So
That's
she
cool.
goody two shoes because she didn't lose her shoe.
Literally,
Just as variation.
she got, like, someone gave her a pair of shoes and she was so happy that basically became her name.
Oh, that's nice.
Sure. A little
Well, I'm happy
sexist.
to know. So, as we all know, Winona.
Oh, wait,
Whoa.
it goes a lot further back. The earliest, so the origin of the phrase is not known, but it goes back to at least 1670.
Wow.
Oh.
Huh.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it is a very old phrase.
So, John Proctor.
Yes.
He's played by Daniel Day-Lewis.
Phenomenal actor.
He does a great job. I
Yes.
believe he was up for an Oscar for this. And so
Oh,
was,
really?
And so was Winona.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I
It was-
totally missed this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good. John's new servant is Mary Warren. And she's afflicted in some way. I don't know, she's acting like an idiot. I think she just has, like, anxiety because she knows she's so terrified by how quick people are getting thrown into jail
Yeah.
by
For
Abigail.
quote unquote being a witch.
Yes, and she was there. She was part of, like, the dancing around. So John, like, makes her go before a judge to, like, say all of this is not real and blah, blah, blah. This is the judge that, like, is the person who's decided to hang people too eventually. Which will happen soon.
Yeah.
So John thinks this will help, but Mary is a teenage girl who's scared of other teenage girls who are essentially about to get people killed.
Right.
So she does not do anything that she, like, agreed to do, painfully agreed to do, by the way, because the conversation between them, she's, like, crying, she can't do it. She gets her to admit that it's not real, and then, like, she was someone who was also kind of afflicted in a way, so she had fainted before, and she said it was because she was being
Demons.
bewitched by someone or something. And then John is trying to plead with the judge and say all the girls are lying because they were the ones originally who were doing witchcraft,
Yeah.
and now
They're just blaming everyone else.
everyone else for reasons X, Y, and Z.
Right.
He still has not come forward and talked about anything of his relationship with Abigail because it does come from something that actually happened between the two of them while she was a servant. So she doesn't just, like, want...
So there's a little hanky-panky.
Yes. So they go before the judge. Mary's up on the seat. All the teenage girls are there, and they start going off the wall. They say that Mary is bewitching them, that there's a yellow bird, and, like, can't you see it? And they all start, like, screaming and shouting and hiding and running and saying,
I think
like,
I might have seen that
yes,
scene.
it's like a very, I feel like if you kind of know the movie or,
Yeah.
like, think about it's just the scene from the movie, because
Yeah.
they're like, like, losing their minds, saying that they're getting bewitched and Mary's the one doing it, and Mary's crying, and
They're being disruptive.
yeah, they're trying to sway the judge,
Yeah.
and it's working. I believe they do get Mary on her own after. Oh, John wants them all to be charged with false witness, and this, like, backfires on him completely because this judge falls for literally all this. He's like, What do you mean? Clearly they see something we can't. Could all of them be that good?
Could they all be lying? Come on.
Yeah, literally. And so they get Mary on her own, and she was saying that she was pretending before. She admits it to the judge. I was pretending before.
Yeah.
And it was, like, none of it was true. And he was like, if you were pretending before, can't you, and, like, you fainted before, can't you pretend faint now? And John's like, can't you? Please? And she's like, I can't. And the judge was like, that's because you were bewitched before. That was the line of thought.
Wow.
So now everything is, like, concrete in his head. You cannot change his
Aren't you
mind.
glad people don't think that way anymore?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit over here and be sad in the corner for
Yeah.
a few minutes.
It was, like, crazy. Like, I don't know, just watching it, you're, like, so frustrated. Because then, at this point, some of the other people, like the Reverend they called him from Beverly, is also starting to see what's happening. And he's
Yeah.
like, we need to do a better job before we start, like, hanging people or for witchcraft, because I don't think that's what's going on here. And that doesn't stop the judge. they definitely start hanging people.
Yeah.
Abigail names John Proctor's wife at this point.
Who she wanted out of the way anyways.
Yes, so she gets pulled in. She was going to be hanged, but turns out she's pregnant. So she can't.
Okay.
So they won't do anything until she has birthed her baby.
And then they'll hang her.
Yes. Yeah, literally.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because she won't admit to it, and none of these people getting pulled in will admit. They're all like, you guys are idiots.
Because it's, not
Yeah.
true.
And even if they admit, it's not like they're going to be like, oh, no worries then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a whole montage of people getting killed at the noose. It's
Stuff.
crazy.
Laughing at is always the most
No, I'm
messed
just
up
like,
parts.
How do I
So far
even-
as drinking chicken blood and unjustified execution.
No, I'm just like, it's just so crazy. And also, how else do I explain the scenes as they... I'm like, I don't know. You just see, like, ankles dropping, like, in the shot. So, Giles Corey, do you guys know what happened to him?
Is he crushed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
Yay, public school history.
So, yeah, and the reason why is because... And I knew the reason why. Oh, it's like a snitches get stitches kind of thing. Like, he won't say who he saw someone talking to or something because he knew it would make the cases worse off for some people in jail. But admitting that he saw these two people talking would confirm some accusations.
Right.
And he didn't want to do that, so he didn't.
And I mean, that's one of those things where it's like, you're going to get executed if you don't. But if
Yeah.
you admit to it, it's not like they're not going to execute you. So, like, what's the point?
So he is getting pressed or stoned to death.
Yeah.
It says stoned, but stoning meant something else. It just meant you're...
Throwing rocks at you, mostly.
Well, stoning for this was they're adding huge slabs of rock on him to his chest. And then that's like how he died.
Yeah.
So he's pressed, but it also is referred to as stoned. Just not getting thrown on him. Just like being...
It wasn't a 420 thing.
Yeah. So all this kind of accumulates after they've murdered innocent people. The court, that is, John has now been named or something like that. Like, it's either he's named or he is... Yeah, he's named. He has to be because they try to get him to sign this thing that says he was, like, he's...
In league with the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's in jail, and it's either when he gets put in jail or right before he tells the judge that Abigail's just going off because they had an affair. He tells him, he puts his like good name aside. He's like, why would I slander myself?
Yeah.
She's only doing this because she just has like this, she's just riddled with this like hate for me because I kicked her out of my house, but also she wants my wife dead because she wants me all for herself, and it's because we had an affair. And the judge is like, okay, let's get your wife in and let's see what she says. And so his wife comes in and he asks, why did you kick Abigail out of your house if she was a good servant? And his wife beats around the bush and says, I do think she had feelings for my husband. And the judge was like, did anything come of it? And now while this is happening, the judge has Abigail and John facing him with their backs to John's wife.
Yeah.
And John's wife is talking to the judge without being able to, and like the judge is like, if you make any movements, any at all, like, you'll get hung or something. He doesn't say that, but essentially, like, you'll be held in contempt of court, whatever. And so they have to just sit there while she, like, beats around the bush, and she doesn't admit to it because she doesn't want to ruin her husband's good name.
Right.
She still loves him.
And she doesn't know he already did.
Yeah. And so right after, she's like, no, I don't think anything happened. I got rid of her because I was worried. He turns around and he's like, I admitted it, in the Daniel Day-Lewis kind of way.
Yeah.
And then, that's what he gets, like, thrown into jail. And it kind of speeds along through time, because by the time we get back to their hangings, because there's a few people going to be hung, and John's one of them.
Yeah.
His wife is more visibly pregnant. They let her go to him. One of the reverends and a couple other people from the town convinced the judge to let his wife go to him to help him, like, just try to live and not get hung. So they try to get him to admit to, like, having dealt with the devil.
Yeah.
And so he's, like, talking to his wife. He has boys at home. He has the unborn child. He decides he wants to live. He screams, "I want my life!"
In a
He's just
Daniel Day-Lewis way.
I want to live. And they go run and grab him, and they're like, "Sign it, John, quick!" And they're trying to get him to sign this thing. And then he does it. And then he goes, "Why do you need me to sign this? Can't I just tell you? You can tell the whole town that I said yes. I just don't want to sign this." And they were like, "You have to sign it." And he was like, "Why don't you want to?" And then again, another, like, dramatic,
Yeah.
"It is my name." And yeah, this is like, it's good. Sound like an idiot, but he did it really good.
I hate to break it, you are not a Daniel Day-Lewis.
No, it's my name. It's like, it's all I have. That kind of thing. He didn't want to leave a bad name on his children's history or anything like that. So he refused to sign it, or he signed it. Ugh, I just got the chills thinking about him signing it, because he signed it with a feather pen, but he really bared down on it. Yeah. It's like,
Okay.
just scratchy paper feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway.
You don't like that?
For those who
It's
know.
like whatever the exact opposite of ASMR is.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Oh. Gives you the chills.
Okay.
Not in a good way. So he crumples up the paper. I think he bites a piece of it. Because he doesn't want anyone to have it. And then the next scene, I believe they are, like, taking him away, and they're hanging him and Rebecca Nurse and some other, like, notable name from the trials. And they all start saying, what's the, like, more known, Our Father.
Oh, the Lord's Prayer?
Yeah. They say that, and
Yeah.
it ends. I don't even think they get to finish it. And it ends with John being the last person speaking, because they're all slowly getting.
Yeah.
And then then you just see his
feet.
the noose drop his feet. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. And that's the end of the Crucible. And then they tell you, like, how many people actually died.
Died,
And what happened,
yeah.
And yeah. So that was the movie. It's good. It's a good movie.
Interesting. I'll
Yeah.
have to check that out. Is that streaming anywhere, Fish?
You can rent it on Amazon for $2.49.
Sounds like a reasonable deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I usually don't rent them if they're like $5. I'm like, $5? What the hell?
Yeah.
But it's good. Winona does a great job. Daniel Day-Lewis obviously does. Something I really like about the costumes and makeup is their teeth are pretty dirty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's always, like, anytime he does a period movie, I'm like, ugh, I just want him to take a shower.
Yeah, he
He's
looks
so gross.
He looks like that.
Yeah.
He
So-
apparently did not bathe during the entire filming of the movie.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
And probably lived in, like, someone's shed or something.
His teeth look crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone's teeth did not look perfect, but his looked wild.
Yeah.
He did a great job. Everyone did. I really enjoy the movie. I love Winona Ryder. So
How many
that's, like,
stars do you give it?
I would give it 5 out of 5.
Nice.
It's good.
Uh-huh. I know so little about the movie. Like, when you were talking about them casting spells in the beginning, I'm like, is this a horror movie? Like, are there actual demons? Like, I knew
Like, are you
nothing
thinking
about.
of The Witch?
No, I just wasn't sure.
Yeah,
Like,
like
if it
how-
was, I wasn't sure if it was played like, oh, the witches are actually witches,
Oh, yeah.
or like if this is more historic. Like, I honestly had no.
No,
Yeah.
it was pretty historic.
Yeah.
And then obviously why it was written was something similar happening in our government's time.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, you totally see the connections.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's because people are people, and they don't really change.
Nope.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was one. I enjoyed watching the movie because we got to do it in school, so it was nice to go back and watch it again and like remember all the little things that always.
I wasn't in school when it came out.
I was.
Were you like fully employed at that point? 1996?
Yeah. I mean, what do you mean by fully employed?
Like
I mean, I was employed when I was in school.
out of school with a full-time job?
I think then, I don't remember what I was doing. I either had a full-time job or 2 part-time jobs.
Okay.
So I guess that's fully employed.
Yeah, because you would have been like
21?
21-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 6 when it came out.
I could have had a beer and watched it. What do you think of that?
I wasn't even allowed to watch it. But yeah, I really like those 2 actors. They did a great job.
Winona Ryder is very underrated.
Oh yeah, I love her.
Like, she was huge in, like, that time period and then, like, disappeared.
Yeah.
But she's good.
Yeah, and then popped back up for like
Stranger Things.
And everyone's like, oh yeah, she can really act.
I think she was one of those, like, in that era that... I think it was more antics that went on, like, not in regards to movies that kind of, like, people were like, she's kind of a mess.
When she was shoplifting.
She was, like, shoplifting and...
Like, as it turns
Was her
out, the
shoplifting?
constant petty crimes for somebody who is very rich is like, come on.
Yeah. So people just kind of... I don't know.
I know there was a weird phase.
Like, you
Yeah.
could just buy
For her.
the store. You don't need to do this.
But I'm a stan. I love Winona.
You're a stan?
It's like another word for fan.
Oh.
Yeah. Generally not supposed to be a good thing. It's from an Eminem song.
Oh, Stan. I got it. Okay. I know who Stan is.
Yeah.
I mean, not personally, but I know the song.
Devon Sawa. That's who played Stan.
Oh, I didn't know. Wait, is there a movie?
There's a music video.
Oh, and Devon Sawa. Okay, that I did not know. I'm learning all sorts of
I
stuff
didn't know
today.
that either.
Yeah,
Who was another person who was big in that time frame.
he was. He was also in a really fun horror movie. Idle Hands.
Yeah.
Super fun movie.
Yeah. Was there anything else about the Crucible?
The only thing I could find was apparently Daniel Day-Lewis married Arthur Miller's daughter.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is.
Yeah.
And then divorced her because he was done filming the movie, bro. That seems like something he would do.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, no, apparently they met on the shooting of the film, which makes a ton of sense.
So cool. He did such a great job. He's a cool guy. Not a local guy, but a cool guy. Good guy.
Yeah, cool guy.
Maybe a good guy. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I like him as an actor. Oh my gosh, I feel like there was something else random about the Crucible. Oh, yes. To the actual witch trials, like, just so everyone knows, I feel like Arthur Miller does a good job at making it feel like that's what happened. That's not what happened.
Okay.
Just so everyone is aware.
So it's like a loosely based on a true story, kind of like theatrical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you watch it, you're like, yeah, you could definitely go down like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
it was it wasn't entirely accurate, but it was entirely believable.
It was
Yes.
close enough that it's believable. Yeah.
So just so everyone's aware.
Okay.
Because I know when I think of like when I go to Salem,
You think of that movie?
I'm like, wow, I can't believe that's how it happened to them, and it's just that
And
movie.
it's
Yeah.
like not
God,
true.
I can't believe Winona Ryder.
Yeah. I know. It's crazy.
It's always like terrible when you find out that like that's not how stuff went down, and you went like half your life believing it. Then you're just like, what do you mean?
Yeah. But good movie. Check it out if you haven't. Read the play if you feel like it. But plays are kind of.
Like plays aren't
You have to
meant
really. You have
plays
to
aren't
really.
meant to be read.
Yeah, you have to really like reading to read a play.
I mean, you could get a bunch of people together and put the play on.
Yeah.
Do it.
There you go. That sounds like a fun time on a
Yeah.
spooky, dark and stormy night.
So,
You know,
a couple people
every Saturday.
hanging out, doing the Crucible.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I got.
It's like, what did you do with your friends? We did a play.
Yeah. You'd have to say doing the Crucible because that sounds way better.
Yeah.
Because you'd be like, is that a drinking thing? Like,
Like everything's a drinking thing if you have a problem.
but I think this is the part where we stop talking. And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/Inebri-art to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at Inebri-art.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at Inebri-art or at Inebri-art6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebri-art, and all the other shows on the Inebri-art Network, which you can find at Inebri-art.com. Thanks again for listening.